I want to introduce the judges. So we did initially have 8 judges, as you can see. On the stage, you'll notice there's 6. Unfortunately, 2 of the judges ended up being hospitalized in the last few months, and I don't know if that was from judging judging the awards, just, you know, makes people keel over or what. But anyways, they're both doing fine now, but they both ended up having a hospitalization that caused them to not be here tonight. So that leaves these lovely 6 others, which I'm going to introduce. So first, we have Grace over here. So as you know, Grace is VP of Design and Experience Design at Carrot Sense, and she also teaches at Stanford, and she's a former associate partner at IDEO. And I do have a question for you, Grace, which is, what criteria differentiated the finalists from some of the weaker entries? Should be. I
guess I should turn it on. Hello? Yeah. Okay. So I spent about 20 years in the consulting field and recently came over to the client side to build product. And one thing that I have an absolute appreciation over now is actually shipping product and executing and implementing. It is so hard. It is really hard, but so gratifying. And so one of the criteria that sort of added kind of an extra bonus point to some of the rubric was actually having gone to market. I know we have some exceptional concept work, which was also highly lauded, but you know, coming up with a concept and actually shipping something and taking it to market is a completely different thing. So that was one differentiator.
Fabulous. Thank you. Now it's Alan. These are in no particular order, by the way. We all know or should know Alan. He's a veteran of the industry and a legend, and he influenced many of us in our career trajectories, a repeat author and co-founder of Cooper. And Alan, I have a question for you too. This is a big one. I'm sure you're going to have an opinion. What makes exceptional UX in your view?
Hi. So, can I just say, Bev, that you are a remarkable woman. You've put on a remarkable event. You take really good care of your judges, and your communication is top notch.
Thank you.
She has good hair too.
I'll pay you later.
I can't say that. I'm just saying. What was that question again?
What makes exceptional UX in your view?
What makes exceptional UX for me is, do you know who your user is? And are you helping them to achieve their goals? It's not about you as a designer. It's not about your clever solutions. It's about the user. Forget about yourself. That's a really hard thing to do because we're all smart and we're all full of solutions and we love to solve problems. And so what you have to do is kind of sublimate that stuff for the user. And I think that's what makes a good design. Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you. Next up, Kelly, who's VP of Design at Smart Design and formerly from Originate, as well as the College Board. So, Kelly, what was the most interesting thing you found about judging the entries?
The range. I was talking to some of those SCAD people out there. You know, I see you. But there's scads of scads. Oh my, I know. Joke. Whatever. It was just really great to see just such a range in student work. How high polished it was. Talking to people and other that. In addition to just a wide range. So there were apps, there were websites, there were software, there was so many experiential things. And what a nice range, because UX is all of those things. to me, that's what made the difference. It wasn't just one thing.
Thank you. Great. So Jenny is over here. Jenny is design director at Amazon Devices, and she also was very active in the AIGA board and in Seattle, and she was a founder of Jackson Fish Market, also from Microsoft. So Jenny, how do you evaluate UX and design? What do you look for?
Well, I think UX is in a place where we're designing more than just screens or pages. And so one of the criteria I look for in our rubric is designing end-to-end solutions, as well as how do you measure or how do you know when you're successful?
Great, thank you. ITAI is now GM and VP of Wearables at Intel, and he's also former head of product at Pebble and LG and HP and Palm. Long career in wearables. What did you find the most inspiring thing from the entries?
Okay. I think it was very obvious that as a design community, we are branching out. We're leaving the little technology bubble, and we're trying to have an impact worldwide. It's very apparent that designers are starting to think about the impact technology can have on people's lives, not just in the developed world, but in the developing countries. That was very inspiring to see.
Great, thank you. SKYE is now founder of Stealth 7 and an advisor at Pear VC, and until recently she was former head of UX at Oculus, and she has had a long career in the Bay Area at Netflix, PayPal, IDEO. So SKYE, what trends, if any, did the entries reveal in aggregate to you?
I think all the entries, just feeding off of you, is just the ability for social impact and being more immersive. UI is not just interaction or visual design anymore, it's all encompassing. And that was really nice to see across all the different entries that came in.
Great, thank you. So I know we had to skip the Q&A earlier, so this is actually a question that I'd like each of you to answer, which is, what do you see as the future of UX? How are things changing for us as practitioners, or the things that we're working on? And I'll start, if it's okay with you, Grace, and we can just move right along.
All right. This is such a broad question. I'll try to be quick. I think that by definition, user experience is all-encompassing. Like Skye was saying, it's not a screen, it's not a moment, it's a narrative, and it's a narrative across brand, it's a narrative across somebody's journey, as we all heard about today. And so it's incumbent on us to continue to be amazing collaborators, but really dial that up. We're working with marketing teams, and we're working with product teams, and we're working with business and strategy teams, and we need to not only represent design, but make sure that the experience is a thread that crosses all of those silos within an organization.
I'd like to continue that. I think when we look at what UX is going to need to do in the next 5 years, we're going to need to be able to teach other groups within our product and services group how to talk UX, how to impact UX, and sometimes how to even do UX and research. We won't be able to continuously own the entire thing ourselves, and nor should we. It would be great if we can empower other groups inside the organizations to do UX themselves.
And I think also building up on top of that is great product designers are also great product managers. So I think we all need to understand the business just as well as we understand the user experience. One other thing that I would add is Sam said in his talk, there's positions that we see now as chief design officer, but what I'd love to see, and the trend is moving towards that direction, is designers should be chief product officers. We should be on boards. We should be sitting at the same table and at the same level of engineers and product managers. So that's the way that we're moving forward, and we need to take it in that direction. Oh, you have one.
And the good news is no more wireframes. So I'm looking out Nadal, Christian, you guys, the experiential stuff, no more wireframes. AI, it builds itself. You do actually have plan for a happy path and let it create its own. No more wireframes. It's script writing. It's going back to actually software a long time ago. You wrote user flows. You had requirements. You wrote scripts. You prototype. That's what you do. No more wireframes. I think that's the future of UX.
Woohoo!
I never did any of that. No, I think the future of UX is really bleak unless we do something about it. Yeah, I know. I mean, hey, we're more powerful than we've ever been. And it's really easy at that position to coast. Let's not do that.
Thank you.
Do I always have to follow Alan in this? I'm going to piggyback on the AI comment that Kelly made. I mean, I think the future of UX, I hope it looks like when there's this layers of abstraction that are removed, and that we can tell machines to do what we mean it to do and not have to use their language to do that. So I look forward to that.
Great, fabulous. Well, I know everyone is keen to get into the program, and we're getting there. I do want to take a moment to just thank our hosts, SAB.